The monthly stats are out. Tune in to find out what happened in Toronto real estate in May 2020. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jordan from the JP Homes team at RE/MAX. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Toronto Real Estate Board just dropped the May sales numbers, and I am here to go through it and break it down with you. So let's jump right into it and see what happened in the month of May. Now, sales from May, obviously down from May of 2019. Year over year, we're seeing sales down about 53%, as you can see in the chart here on the top left. What is encouraging is that the number of sales, the number of transactions in the month is actually up from what it was in April of 2020, sorry. Sales are up about 55% over April, but down from last year. So what does that mean? It means that things are starting to happen. The market is starting to pick up. Things are starting to open up a little bit, which is really encouraging and a great positive note given the whole COVID-19 scenarios that we've been dealing with. So as you see here, like I mentioned, sales down year over year about 53%, but up from April to May this year of about 53% as well. So a really encouraging number. I'm going to skip over sale price for just 1 second and jump down here to total new listings. So new listings compared year over year are still down. New listings are down 53.1%. And for those of you who watch my updates regularly, I've been talking about the lack of inventory for 6 months or a year. Now we've really hit a low. We're at an all-time extreme low of listings and properties on the market. Now, month over month, from last month to this month, new listings have actually increased about 47.5%. So we are seeing things slowly starting to come to market, but we are still at an all-time and extreme low. Now, given the extreme lack of inventory and the increasing amount of demand and the increase in sales that we're seeing is leading us to a little bit of upwards pressure on prices, which is really interesting. So you see here, average selling price year over year from May 19 to May 2020 is actually up 3%. And from April to May of this year, up 4.6%. So what does this tell us? This is showing us that little bit of upwards pressure on prices, given that there is very little inventory, a strong buyer demand, and I think a lot of confidence that's coming back into the market from buyers. So that's putting some upwards pressure on prices. We're seeing and hearing a lot about multiple offer scenarios back on properties that are listed well and priced well. So we're seeing a very competitive market here in Toronto. Now, what do these numbers mean for you? Well, if you're a buyer, like I just mentioned, you have to expect to possibly run into some multiple offer scenarios. We're starting to see that more and more in the market. If you've been waiting thinking the prices are going to drop and drop and drop as we go through COVID, so far we've seen things maintain and remain pretty stable. We are about halfway through the mortgage deferral system. We're 3 months into the 6-month program that the government announced at the beginning. So it will be interesting to see how things start to change and what happens with inventory levels as we move through that. I suspect we might start to see a little bit more inventory come to the market and people be in positions where they might have to sell properties, but we're going to keep a close eye on that, so we'll talk about that more in next month's update and see where we go. But if you are a buyer, it's time to get moving. Talk to your mortgage broker, get pre-approved, know how much money you can spend, so if you are in this competitive situation, you can position yourself and have the right expectations. And also, get in touch with your real estate agent, find out with the areas where you want to live, get realistic expectations on what properties are selling for so that you know what to expect when you're buying. If you're a seller, now is the time. There is low inventory, like I've just mentioned a few times. We need to take advantage of that. If you're a seller, you might get out onto the market before you have 4, 5, 6, or 7 other of your neighbors that are thinking the same thing. A lot of people I've been talking to have been saying, I'm going to wait till we get a little bit further into this or till we get out of this. But at that point, with all of the masses thinking the same way, you might end up with more competition and not be able to sell for as high of a price. So something to think about. But if you are thinking about selling, it's time to get prepared. Talk to your agent, put a plan together. If you have questions on that, let me know. And that's really where we are right now after May. So a strong month, a little bit of increases in terms of prices. Inventory is still low. So that's what we're facing right now. As we get into June, I think we're going to still continue to see low inventory. Hopefully we see a little bit more come to the market because there is such strong buyer demand and buyer confidence out there. But if you are a buyer, if you are a seller, if you're curious, you want some information, get in touch with me. I'm happy to help give you as much information as you need. And like I always mention as well, real estate is extremely neighborhood and area specific. So if you're curious about what is happening with your neighborhood or with your housing type, shoot me a message. My email is scrolling across the screen below, jglaser@remax.net. Get in touch with me, and I would be happy to put together a confidential analysis for you and your home in your neighborhood so you know the real deal and what's happening for you. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to me anytime. I'm always happy to share and talk real estate. I hope you have a great month. I hope you keep safe. Everyone's keeping well, enjoying the sunshine, and we'll talk to you later.